There we are. Welcome to episode 25 of Quarkus Insights. So hi guys. So welcome to Quarkus Insights episode 25. We have Fred and Jeff Murray on the line here. If I can find them, there we are. Hello. And I get myself. There we go. Okay. So there's some weird. Okay, you guys are there. Okay. So we are here to talk about Quarkus tools. But just before we go there, just basic piece of news. So last week we had Quarkus 191 out with a little bit of bug fixes, and then the what's it called? The last thing we had was there's a lot of blog posts actually coming up. We had one about Quarkus on a Raspberry Pi, GraphQL, and some Mutiny stuff. So if you haven't tried to read the blog, this last week was very busy. So anyway, so Jeff, is one of you guys playing back something? I'm getting a weird echo in the background.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So that's okay. Anyway. That's weird. So anyway, let's introduce. So Jeff, can you do a quick introduction of who, what, how you got
so
involved?
Yes, so yeah, my name is Jeff Murray. I'm yeah.
Okay, Jeff. Okay, how do you get involved in Quarkus?
So I'm working at Red Hat. I'm working on the desktop tooling, mainly around the
That's weird. Okay, guys, so we're getting a weird feedback from.
Yeah, I don't know what's
Oh, it came from you, Jeff. All right, Fred, you go ahead. So Jeff, you probably have a browser somewhere open.
All right. So I'm Fred Bricon, and I've been working on VS Code tools for the past few years, building VS Code extensions for Red Hat. Mainly, the biggest one is still VS Code Java, and then I've been working also on VS Code XML, and finally Quarkus. So I'm here to present our Quarkus tools for VS Code. Lets you make your life easier to develop Quarkus applications.
Cool. Yeah, we've known each other for a while. You also to blame for all the Eclipse tooling and Maven stuff and all the stuff in the history.
Yes, everything that goes wrong with Eclipse related to Maven,
that's you.
Probably blame it on me.
Oh, it's more what went right. So anyway, so Fred has a little demo he will go and show off. But for those who haven't been here before, the idea is that we go through some aspects of related to Quarkus, this time about the tooling around it. And so if you guys just throw out questions, then I'll disturb Fred and throw him off the tracks. But the idea is he'll go through a little demo and you guys can ask questions. I'll say any tooling related stuff regarding Quarkus is the topic today. So Fred, if you want to.
So I got basically two demos. Simple one just to show you how to create a Quarkus application in VS Code. So I'm going to share my screen there, and I'm going to move over to VS Code. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, let me just get that on board. You're good to go. Oh, you see you and the translator.
Okay, so from VS Code, you want to install the Quarkus extension from Red Hat. So you can search it from the marketplace. Quarkus 170 is the latest release. If you install it, it will also depend and install behind the scenes tools for microprofile, as well as language support for Java if it's not installed already, and the debugger for Java. So when the extension starts the first time, you'll see a welcome page. the Quarkus welcome page. I'm going
And
to
just Fred, just to be clear, you're showing the Quarkus tool for VS Code, and we have similar ones for Eclipse and IntelliJ, right? That's the way.
Yeah, that's so to make a long story short, basically everything that happens behind the scenes in this extension is shared with the Eclipse and IntelliJ tooling that Jeff will talk about later.
Yep.
All right, so let's go back to trying to open the welcome page. All right, so first time is a little bit long because it tries to start the Java extension as well. So the welcome page just talks to you about the requirements for the extension. There's a big button to help you create a Quarkus project, and you also have some links to the Quarkus documentation. So either you could click on this button, or you have the same behavior. If you try to type in the command palette, you can generate a Quarkus project. Same thing. So first step will be to choose a build tool. So I'm going to choose Maven. Your next choose a group ID. So I'm going to keep this one. Insights, hello. It's going to be a greeter application. This is the artifact ID. And then I can choose the version. I can also go back and change some things if I'm not satisfied with my previous choices. This is the package name, my REST endpoint resource name. And then I can select a bunch of extensions, Quarkus extensions, that are available for the latest Quarkus release. So I can filter those extensions, Alexa, AWS, whatever. I can use JSONB, for instance. There's a way to make the presentation a little bit less verbose with this button there. So I click enter, and then I will choose where I'm going to create my project. So I'm going to generate it here. The greeter already exists, so I'm going to overwrite it. Then VS Code restarts, opens the folder we just created. And I can already browse through the directories. There's a hello resource endpoint, just returns hello. All right, so while this is opening, I can see here my Java server is starting. So once we have a green a thumb up, everything will be green, and I can actually work. So in the meantime, I should still be able to do to get some java.conf hover if everything goes well. Okay, maybe not. So my guess is everything is a little bit slow today because we are streaming live, and this takes a bunch of CPU cycles from VS Code. So let's try to be
the
patient.
language server starting, is that's Java and something else for Quarkus, or is it just?
Yes. So there are two language servers involved now: the Java language server and a Quarkus language server. Oh, actually, a microprofile language server. And Quarkus Tools is an extension to the microprofile language server. So I should get as soon as I get proper Java doc, I know that everything's started. So
we had a question from Tokyo Walker. He says, does the reverse process also work? Like import the product and all the extensions get loaded in VS Code by itself? So I don't know.
Sure.
If VS Code does that, but yeah. Go ahead.
If you open a folder containing a Quarkus project, everything will load automatically. All right. So everything's.
I think he means if the extension is not installed. Do we pop up saying, "Hey, you look like you're using"? Quarkus?
Well, actually, this is possible. There's a way to do that. If you have a folder called VS Code extensions, I think, or .VS Code, you can define a list of recommended extensions. And when you open that folder, that file is detected automatically by VS Code, and then there will be a pop-up that asks you to install their recommended extensions. So you can do that, but that needs to be explicitly set per folder. All right, so my project is loaded now. So I have Java doc showing. So the next step is obviously to debug my application. So in order to do that, I'm going to call the command palette and call debug current Quarkus project. So that command is going to do two things. First, it's going to call the Maven Quarkus dev command that we can see here. All right, so this is happening here. So it's going to call the Quarkus plugin in Maven that will launch the application in dev mode. And once the application is started, there will be a debug port listening. So everything is super slow.
Oh, just gets you to calm down.
That's impressive.
Yeah. Yeah, debug is one of, I think you guys connect automatically to the debugger, right? In VS Code.
Yes, so that's the point of this command. In order to debug this simplest way possible, we just run a command, and it will A, launch Quarkus dev, and B, attach the debugger to the port 5005.
So that's actually, by the way, this is the one feedback I've gotten repeatedly the last couple of months, is because we in dev mode you use Quarkus start, you do on a command line, you run Quarkus dev or inside VS Code or whatever. But people don't realize that they can just connect the debugger to it, because the dev mode automatically starts the debug mode.
Yeah.
So they don't realize you can go and create in IntelliJ or Eclipse like this, like connect to the remote application. So anything we can do, like simplify it like it does here in VS Code, would be nice for IntelliJ and Eclipse too.
All right. So now the application started. If I refresh the page, actually, I will see a link over the REST endpoint. So I can click on it, and it will open my REST endpoint. Okay, I'm gonna.
That shows up when you run, right?
So once it runs, then we can detect that the server is running, and so we can display a link to this endpoint. So if I change the endpoint, I want to call it hello. The link changes in the same time. So I save the file, and then I should click on this, and it works. The new endpoint is being called over there. So, and I can then make some changes. So I'm going to do, let's see, extract with a local variable, greeting, and then I'm going to put a breakpoint here.
And I can see
the file.
Diego Cross says +1 for IntelliJ. And just so you know that the features you've shown so far is also available on IntelliJ. So you're not being left out.
Okay, look, Quarkus. Looks like not connected to. Let's see. Yeah, disconnected from the debugger. No, maybe not. No, there it is. So I can now debug my application. Let's see the debug view. You can see the greeting variable. You can change it to hello Quarkus inside S, no S, I don't know. And I release. And everything works. So
hey.
It's slow because of the demo, but it's fairly straightforward, I would say. Just execute a command to debug the application, and then click on the REST endpoints. So that's the first part of the demo, which is a really simple hello world.
Cool.
All right. So if you have any questions.
Well, so far there's not been that much. Well, the one is the IntelliJ, but that's what I was saying, that the stuff you've shown so far is also it's available in IntelliJ too.
Okay.
Yep.
So I can move on to showing you a little bit more complex application. So here, let's see. I got everything closed. Close this one. So here, I got a polar application. The idea is I'll let the user choose its favorite spread, and then once he clicks on the jar, the results will update live. So that's the basic idea. So this example is based on a couple Quarkus quick starts based on Kafka. So user clicks, it sends a vote to this resource and resource, JAX-RX resource. So we click vote. There's a voting booth. This is a channel that is backed to by Kafka, and then we have something that listens to the topic, the Kafka topic, and it will process the vote. So it will basically update the existing votes, persist the results, and then return it into in-memory channel. And then the channel, the in-memory channel, which is this one, all results will be streamed in the vote stream endpoint. So that's roughly the idea. So I can also start the application by going command palette, debug current project.
Yeah, it's not going as fast.
Yeah.
This runs faster normally.
Normally, yeah, it's way faster.
Yeah.
Like way faster.
So what was you said you had Nutella and Marmite? What was the other two?
So
and stuff, or? Oh,
you'll see. So we have peanut butter, Marmite, and jam.
Oh, jam. Got it.
Yeah. So here, the default data source is not set. So I need to configure that before the application can run. So I'm going to open the application properties file, and I need to add, of course, a JDBC data source. So there's a snippet for that. So I can do QBS, and it will show me a snippet, insert a snippet. So I'm going to select Postgres, change Quarkus test, and well. All right, so if I save now, oh, nice error. So let's see. Something's running.
Maybe.
Yeah, there it is.
All
right, so my app started. Let's see.
That's a big jar.
There. All right, so I can click on Nutella. There's 1 vote, 2 votes, etc. So I can even let you guys play with it, and I can share the URL to this application. So I'm going to use ngrok. I'm going to create a tunnel to expose that application on the internet. So it's port 8080.
So this is
I'm going to do show the QR code. This is this is a 2 bit. So I'm going to show the QR code. This is a 2 bit. So I'm going to show the QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This is a QR code. So I'm going to do show the QR code. This an extension for VS Code that allows me to open an ngrok tunnel. So I'm going to paste the link to the channel. Let's see. I can't. Why is it not working? How do I do the chat?
I can put it in for you if that works.
All right, so I'm going to put it here. Just let me know when you shared it.
No. I'll do this. Wrong link.
Where is it?
I can't paste either.
Well, someone pasted.
There you go.
I'm going to access the link so I can see votes coming in real time. So yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, good choice. Okay, so let's see what else I can show you. All right, so so I showed you how I could add some data source configuration. Oh, my language server is broken for some reason. So I might not get all the results I wanted. So normally, if I look at the, let's say the incoming voting ballot configuration, this is coming, if I command click, I will jump into the definition of the voting ballot. So yeah, I can navigate from the application properties to the source code. And the connector here is available. The only connector available right now is small right Kafka. So if I get auto-completion, I get only one choice. And if I do type something else, then I get an error because there's validation for a set of properties that we can identify as fixed. So typically this is an enum, and there's no other choice possible. So there's an error here. But the vote, for instance, the vote topic, I got no validation. And if I do, let's see, here, this is a Boolean. So I got full, false, and true. So if I do hover, I can see the documentation over the different keys. And then here you can see there's actually a bug in VS Code Quarkus that does not recognize this particular properties. So one thing that we can do to quick fix it is to exclude, let's see, the MP messaging outgoing voting booth .star properties. So now everything under that namespace will be ignored from validation. There's also an interesting part here with the validation for Kafka in particular. If I don't set this connector, the other properties will be unknown because we detect that the small right Kafka connector for this topic, this channel, has access to a bunch of different properties. So those properties are actually dependent on the connector type.
So, is that, wait, are you doing that based on custom logic in the VS Code extension, or is this built into the model of?
So the custom logic is in the Quarkus language server, or a microprofile language server.
Okay.
But we do have some custom logic there. All right. So next, I want to show you a little bit about the support for Qute. Here, I got a.
Before you go, just I saw a comment here from I think Casper Frog. he talks about this. This is not tooling. This was a specific question, but I want to raise it. He says, Vertex Quarkus for new products. It seems like development has really slowed down here on Vertex. Pretty much just Julian. Quarkus seems to be getting a lot of attention and features. I know the Vertex is down there in Quarkus, but that's just not the same. So we should probably get the Vertex guys on the show, because I'll tell you, they are still doing a lot of work that we are depending on in Quarkus. So I wouldn't say that, as far as I know, that it hasn't slowed down. It might not be that the higher level stuff is being done so much because that's in Quarkus. But I do know there's like there's 3.9 and there's discussion about 4.0. So I would say, at least from where I'm sitting, there's a lot of stuff going on at Vertex. But maybe Casper doesn't think the same. But that was it. That was just a comment on that one. So go ahead with your friend.
All right. So here, the index page that everybody uses to vote is actually a Qute template. So the Qute template is injected in my here in my class. And right now, I just inject an empty context. But in that case, I want to inject the greeting to show something to users here, somewhere here. So how do I do that? I want to inject a greeting that's defined in the application properties. So I can try to add a greeting property here. Welcome to, and then I have my application name here, SuperPoll application. I want to re-reference this, so I can do $, and I get access to all the properties that are referenced in the application.
I hadn't seen that. Is that new?
No.
No, right. I hadn't noticed. That's cool.
And then I can hover over it, and then the value is resolved. Greeting is resolved normally, but here it's unknown. I need to reference it to declare it somewhere in my code base. So I'm going to go in my poll resource class, and I'm going to inject, and I want a config property name greeting, and it will be string greeting there. If I hover there over the name, I can see the greeting is not completely resolved, but I can see the value is coming from my application properties. So there, I can add my greeting to the object, put a greeting, save. So I should see, let's see the view. No, not the view. Terminal. Oh, actually, my application stopped for some reason. All right, interesting. I can restart it here. As soon as you've executed the debug Quarkus project once, the launch configuration will be created. So you just have to click on this button the next time. You don't need to go through the command palette.
So Ravi is asking here, what plugins we use to get help tooltip in VS Code? I joined late, so I guess this was just your properties help tooltip, I guess.
Yeah. All right. So the properties, interesting question. The properties are coming from the jars where the properties are defined. So if I go in, let's say, application name, command click on that, and I will jump into the application config class from Quarkus.
Yep.
And I get the documentation from the Java doc. And we can discuss how it's done behind the scenes, but there's some really cool things happening in order to give you all that documentation.
So, but this is just, so Rob, I think you're asking for the plugin. So this is just the Quarkus tool plugin available in the marketplace since it's a year now. Yeah, about a year. So yeah, that one is there, Robbie.
All right, so welcome to Superpole application. This is working, and someone is pounding the Nutella.
Oh no, Nutella's okay. I have to go back and do this.
This is a good choice. So I got plenty of other things to show you, but I might as well stop here because it took a lot of time. If you have any questions, go ahead.
Well, right now we don't have anything specific for it. So if Jeff, do you want to touch something on the Eclipse and IntelliJ tools?
Yeah. So basically, for Eclipse and IntelliJ, so you can install those tools. So they are also called Quarkus tools. So if you go to plugins, for example, if you go to plugins.jetbrains.com and you search for Quarkus, you will see Quarkus tools being listed. So it's based on the same foundation. So we use the LSP4MP LSP server plus the Quarkus specific extension to it.
LSP is a language server, right?
Yeah, it's a language server that we share between all this tooling. And same for Eclipse. So for Eclipse, you go to the Eclipse marketplace and search for Quarkus, and you will find also Quarkus tools where you can install the tooling for Eclipse. There is some slight differences. For example, if you want to run a Quarkus application or debug a Quarkus application, so we have the equivalent that Fred shows you from Eclipse. It's not yet in the Quarkus tools for IntelliJ. That's something we are working on. It should be available for the next release, which is planned in a month or so. But you will get all this application note property, code assist, syntax checking, and all that stuff for free. Yeah.
Do you want to touch upon the fact that there's two Quarkus tools, or there's two tooling for Quarkus in IntelliJ?
Yes. So basically, so we provide Quarkus tools. So this is provided by Red Hat. And there is also one tooling for Quarkus, which is provided by JetBrains. So the main difference is that our tooling is available for every, let's say, flavor of IntelliJ. So it's available for the community edition of IntelliJ and for the also for the Ultimate, which is a paid version, where the JetBrains tooling is only available in the Ultimate edition.
Yes, because that's the question I got a lot of times, because they go like, "Oh, I installed this Quarkus tools, and it's missing some feature, or it doesn't behave as they want," and that's because they installed the other one. And I must say they actually done this. The stuff they have in IntelliJ is pretty nice. It's tighter integrated with the IDE and IntelliJ, and they're catching up with the features we have. But as you said, Jeff, the big difference is that the Quarkus tools we provide is available fully open source and for the free version, right? And that's why we still maintain it, and we are also in dialogue with them. If stuff start colliding, we are talking with them about, hey, we should resolve this so they play nice together, because there's good stuff in their stuff and there's good stuff in ours, and they don't all. So that's just good. So if you use IntelliJ, not the Ultimate version, then Quarkus tools is what you can get. If you have Ultimate, there are some additional tools from IntelliJ that supports this stuff. Okay, Fred, did you have more you want to highlight on VS Code, or?
It depends. I can show you more stuff if you want to.
We don't have any. I'll ask again for the. We don't have any other additional questions on the line. Well, we do. We have one about Quarkus, but maybe we could take that one. Where was that one? I saw it up here somewhere.
I still
yeah,
don't
so
have
this-
access to the chat.
You don't have access to chats. Okay,
No.
I'll say so Antonio asked this in the beginning about this thing called Quarkus. So this is we haven't announced this widely yet, but I'll just give you a context and something for YouTube, Jeff and Fred also to know. So here we go. This Quarkus is you and okay, that's funny. You and Tom Cruise brothers.
Sure.
Sure. No.
Cousin
So
with Elon Musk as well.
Yeah, that might be. Well, you have a almost American accent now, so it's good. No. No, the Quarkus is a term we are starting to use for describing all the stuff we have in Quarkus, all the extensions that exist there. So we have this thing called Quarkus extension, which there's a lot of, and you showed some of them being installed. And then we have extensions that are in a platform, which is the thing you refer to when you create a project. And if you use community version, you have one platform, and if you use a product, it's a different one. And I even know about companies who make their own Quarkus platform, which says these are the versions, these are extensions they use together. And all our tooling understands this notion of platform and extensions. Then the challenge is that this stuff then shows up on Quarkus, but it's only stuff that's in the platform. So if someone from somewhere had made an extension, let's say, I know there's an ngrok extension for Quarkus, there are some GSF extensions, there are some JBarray and Google extensions, and those are things that we just can't support or maintain in the core, so we want to have it somewhere else. So that's why a few weeks back, we created a Quarkus repository, which are like a landing place for those people who are willing to do an extension but don't want to maintain all the release process stuff. So we automate that thing. And that stuff is growing right now. And George Gastaldi, who's driving a lot of this stuff, is going to make a blog post about it. But the idea is that you can just have your external extension somewhere, or you can put it into this Quarkus place, and then it will more or less automatically in the future show up in all our tooling, whether that is the command line, Maven or Gradle tools, or the tools that Jeff and Fred here is showing. But yeah, that's still a bit a fair way out. But the general idea is to find a place for these extensions that doesn't have a home, so to speak. That's what Quarkus is. We will, once we get a bit more concrete and a bit more in there, we will definitely get talk about it here on the show. And the last thing in the Quarkus stuff is something that people might not know. I should prepare this, but we actually have in 1.9 the CLI for Quarkus got released. And so you can actually go and run the Quarkus CLI with JBang. I'm going to put that in where's my little... So unfortunately, I can't show it here because I should have prepared it, but I'll give you the link. But if you have JBang installed, you can actually run it. So the reason why we haven't talked much about this, it should actually be 191. Let me do this. 191 final. I can't spell. 191 final. If you run this, you actually get access to Quarkus CLI, and the Quarkus CLI is nice because it does two things. One is it lets you do this add extensions, create projects kind of thing without having Maven installed or Gradle or any tools for that matter. But also it makes it uniform when you do builds and dev mode, that kind of thing. So it works whether you have Gradle or JBang or Maven projects. So yeah, I just want to mention it here because you'll talk about it in the future, but it's already part of 1.9 as a kind of experiment. In the future, we're going to release that as like on SDK Man and Brew and that kind of thing. But I'll be in 1.10 or 1.11. Okay. So besides you being Tom Cruise's brother, do you have anything else interesting to talk about?
So I pasted the link to the GitHub repository for the demo. In our chat. I cannot do that on the
I'll put it there in the
real chat.
Yeah, okay. So that was the link to the open source project for the plugins for Eclipse and
Jeff,
IntelliJ.
stop picking the pen.
Yeah, so I put the link to the GitHub project for the IntelliJ extension and the Eclipse one. Maybe we should have also the one for VS Code, in addition to the demo that Fred
That's an example. Yeah, I got it. Anyway, guys, so anyone who's listening, if you have more questions about any tools or things you'd like to see or not to see, that'll be good to know. And Fred, if you said you had something more, just go on that one and all.
Okay, so I can show you some health checks support.
Health checks, got it.
Yeah, all right.
Do you have the OpenShift stuff too, or is that?
No,
not yet.
No.
Not yet. Okay.
So I'm going to share back my screen. So MicroProfile has a bunch of sub-projects. One of them is health check support. That is supported by the VS Code MicroProfile extension that is available as part of VS Code Quarkus. So if I want to create a new health check, I can add an extension. I haven't shown that yet, I think. So I can view command palette. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, we see it.
So I can add an extension. Health. Right, health. This one. Oh. There. So the add extension mechanism is relying actually on the build tool that you're using to build your Quarkus application. So in my case, I'm calling the Maven Quarkus add extension command. But if I was using a Gradle project, I would use the similar extension for similar command for Gradle, and that should update my POM XML. Let's see, where is it? There it is. Small writer appeared. Okay, now whatever. So now, now that the POM has been updated with a new extension, I can create a new class. Let's see. Let's call it Sanity health check. All right, so now I should have access to the liveness annotation, and so one of the things that the MicroProfile language server brings is it detects that liveness annotation is added to the class, but the class does not implement the health check interface. So I can fix that with a quick fix. So it's almost working. We're still need a second step to actually add the unimplemented methods. And then I can add, implement a health check. So I created a snippet there.
Don't do this.
So the snippet, just insert some code that will check what is the leading the leading spread, and if it's Marmite, then there's a problem. All right, so I need to import that.
So what you need votes for the Marmite? That's what you're saying.
All right, so now I can go back to, let's see. Oh no, the application's not running. So I'm gonna run it. I guess because the strategy for the database generation is drop and create, then we'll have to vote again from scratch. My tunnel should still be running.
It's the same URL?
Yeah, it should be the same URL. As soon as the server is ready, the app should be available.
Oh, I don't see it yet.
No, still starting.
You slow machine. Yeah.
Yeah, I blame both the stream as well as my antivirus.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're on that machine, kind of. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Oh, now something is there.
Now my process is hanging. Current task.
So that's the same problem I had earlier in the year, but that's because it's hot outside. Now it's cold, and my machine can now do streaming and Quarkus at the same time.
Yeah. Any second now. All
I
right,
see Nutella. Yes. Okay, let me. So you want people to go vote again?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's a week of voting. Yes. All right. You definitely have a Marmite situation right now.
Okay, so I go to the health endpoint. Marmite situation is down. Yeah.
Awesome.
This is bad. Guys, you need to do something about it. I can actually do something about it. Let's see. Repeat.
Well, now it's back. Now you have more Nutellas. Are you gonna cheat? Okay.
Oh, barely.
It's going up.
All right, where's my health? Refresh. And Marmite situation is up now.
Yay!
So we're good. All right, I think I should stop there.
So what was the feature you showed again in VS Code? Oh, just health check. Okay, got it. So I saw there was a question that came up here from Ravi. He says, Gradle scripts doesn't seem to integrate smooth. Don't remember specifically. Can you talk anything about I always look for in common releases? So let me just try and get back to. I'll turn this one on. There we go. I'll turn it off. There we go. So, Ravi, so the Gradle scripts and Cogito, you'll have to, if you can give a specific issue, then we can look into it. I haven't heard about it specifically. I did hear about some stuff in OptPlanner, but that was just stuff OptPlanner hasn't done yet. But if you talk about anything we should look for in the common releases, then if you don't know, we have this roadmap link. It needs an update in this soon, but you'll see that, well, 1.9 is more or less, well, that should be cleaned up. But we have a few things done in here, like Vertex 4. Whether that happens in 1.10, I think it's going to be a bit late. But there's a few other stuff in here. The one thing I do know about that we're working on is, and this is, I don't know why, but it's just specific for, that's more for the, for tooling, is the CLI should be more visible in 1.10 or 1.11. Which means you can just go brew install Quarkus and then you have it, or use JBang or any other, or any SK tools. We are working on the, if you've used Code Quarkus actually now today, let me go here, Code Quarkus.io. you will notice that there's these jet fighters. Let's see if I can zoom in here. I'm just gonna hide these things here. Jet fighters on the example. And if you do these jet fighters just means there's like what we call code starts. So until recently, when you create a product, there's always just a REST endpoint created with a hello and a basic setup. That's what you get for the REST easy here. But if you scroll down, there's a few other, for example, YAML. There's a jets. There's also one for Qute, I think. Oops. A Qute templating, which didn't you want to talk about that actually, Fred? But for the Qute one, there's an example. So these are called code starts. So right now, these are just exposed on Quarkus. But in the upcoming 1.10, it's going to be enabled by default on the command line. You can also do it today with a flag. I can't remember the flag. But that means that any of these examples that has this jet fighter, when you just say, I'm going to create a product with Qute and REST easy, it will create a product that has both these examples put in together. So that should hopefully get people more easily started. That's the CLI, and I'm trying to remember what else is coming. There's a few other things that I don't have enough details about right now, but we should probably cover in next week or something. But I'll tell you that. Keep an eye on the blog. There might be a few things that are interesting in the next week or two on this stuff. And otherwise, yeah, those are the ones I have in my mind for coming up. But there's probably a bunch of stuff I haven't remembered. So yeah. There we go. Let's see if I can turn myself off here. Go back to us. Then Antonio says, do you want to have the support main grade support one same features? The default is yes, but depending on the situation, we might, there might be a delay in implementation or something might not apply. But the general consensus is we trying to. But I do remember in some stuff we've done in Maven that we didn't do in Gradle, but then we did later, and vice versa. So for Antonio, the answer is yes, we want to, but that doesn't necessarily have to mean that it has been implemented at the same time. But we do try and avoid to add stuff that just doesn't make sense, except for one thing. But yeah, those things there. And my camera is frozen. I'll just. Oh, they're back again. And things are freezing again. That's awesome. Fred, can you hear me? No one hears me. All quiet.
No.
No.
Can't hear you.
Awesome.
We can now.
Now you can. Okay, weird.
Yeah.
All right. So how much when did I turn myself off? I'll just summarize then. Yes, Maven and Gradle should have the same features, but if it does make sense, then it does make sense. And then I was going to ask you, Fred, did you talk about, you had something for Qute tooling, or is that just future ideas?
Okay, so for now, Qute tooling it just consists in syntax highlighting. This is
okay.
Very, very simple. As soon as your files have, say, Qute.html or Qute.json suffixes, then they're recognized as Qute resources, and
okay.
Then we can display the proper syntax highlighting. Now, for deeper tool integration, like navigation from a placeholder to its declaration in a code. That requires a language server dedicated to Qute. So Angelo is super excited at the idea of implementing it.
Awesome.
Like, super excited. But we have a very limited bandwidth in terms of what we can do in terms of tooling. The team I've been working it with does XML, Quarkus, a little bit of Java. So we need to make some choices. So if you want to, if we have someone that's I don't know, a Viking that says, hey, Qute tooling is
always important,
critical, and needs to get top priority, then we can discuss.
Okay, we'll see if we can find someone.
So you have no plan, Fred?
They're only ideas for now.
Okay.
No plans.
Yeah. So, but I think we'll have it at some point. We're gonna get, I think, next week, if I remember correctly, we're gonna have Martin on about on Qute tooling. So it'll be fun. So can you have it by Monday so we can see it? No, I'm kidding. Okay. Well, we are about top of the hour. I'll give the last second if someone has a question. Otherwise, thank you guys for this stuff. I really like the way we've done it, that we have like the most stuff goes out on VS Code first, but then it kind of fairly. How long does it go between that Fred and team does the VS Code stuff until it shows up in Eclipse and IntelliJ, Jeff? Is that the next day?
Yeah. We try to arrange. So basically, the latest version of Quarkus for Eclipse, for example, was based on LSP4MP 1.0, and probably next time we release Quarkus for Eclipse, we will align to the latest version of LSP4MP. So yeah, we are pretty much aligned.
Very cool. So Fred, you have a fan in Milton.
Yeah, I know. As I said, I'm cousin with Elon.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Well, I'll say thank you and see you around then. So, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.